Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful, crispy, cool Wednesday, and headed to work to do another show rehearsal. So, today's theme is, what would you do with Powerball winnings? Okay, so, retire, build a castle in the woods, the usual, big edit bay, underground bunker, full of cool Tony Stark type contraptions, the usual. You got to do that. That's step one. Okay, so there's a couple million right off the bat. So anyway, how would you approach short filmmaking if you won $75 million? Okay, wouldn't be hard to spend it all at once. But I, coming from the school of penny productions, would start with a $50,000 budget. That'd be my first official short film. And I would start with locations, then story, then actors, then branch out and try to find the crew you can get to help make that happen. $50,000 isn't going to go far. You can spend that on one great actor, but you got to make a whole budget with that. So that's the challenge here, the $50,000 challenge. Ooh, bait click, or clickbait. It's fun being dyslexic. You never cease to amaze yourself, entertain yourself. There I go again. So anyway, $50,000. What would you do at 50 grand? What do you think the most you could do at 50 grand would be? The problem is, work your budget to the, point where you get close. I'd work it to about 40 and keep 10 for pad, because there's so many unforeseen expenses, when you're doing this kind of stuff, if you're paying a crew especially, So I was thinking probably, because this is the second time I'm doing this video, again, wonderful phone. I did a long 30 minute version and it just freaks out and doesn't let me access the video. So this is a shorter condensed version, which is probably more valuable to anyone actually listening to this. So I would start with a great location that I could have for a good 5 days. I'll talk to the guy, gal, whoever. If you find a castle in the woods, or you think you can do it in your house or wherever, you need a location. If you're going to be in the woods, whatever, you got to find a location. You don't want to be rushed out of there every dang day of the week. You don't want grumpy people sweeping around you while you're trying to do your lines. Been there. And, I appreciate it, the people that let me shoot in their homes. But it's like, when you ask for 8 and they gleefully agree, then you get 4 hours. It's a little challenging. It's like, well, we said 8, you agreed to that, and I kind of had this planned out to happen in 8 hours, but you're telling me now I have 4 hours. So you don't need that challenge. So try to find a rental house or something. A location you can rent, an office you can rent for the day, whatever. Make it part of the budget. You got $50,000 here. So that's what I would do. Find a location first. That'll evolve. That'll let the ideas evolve around the location. If you want to do a comedy, say, okay, well, I got a great patch of woods. I got a beautiful rustic cabin, and we have unlimited access to this thing for 5 days. We could say that 24 hours a day if we want. People want $500. We're good. So how cool would that be? A bed and breakfast? Who knows what? You got to work out a deal with these people. 5 solid days. Tell them 5 full 24-hour days you want access to this stuff. Okay? So your life will be 100% easier. Okay? Now, well, not 100%, 50%. To make the other 50, scout for sound. You got to walk around these locations, see if there's construction going on, see if there's marching band practice. If you're by an airport, sound will kill a production. Just when you have everything looking great, you got to stop for sound, because there's a mile-long train chugging right next to the house. I can't tell you how much of my life we've sat around waiting for sound to get better. I think that would be a curious statistic to figure out one day. So, waiting on sound. And it'll kill you, too. You got a dramatic scene, it needs to be nice and quiet. Yeah, you can do, ADR, I think they call it. That's a pain in the butt and expensive to get it right, and it never looks good. It never sounds as good as it would as if it was actually on location. So scout for sound. So then write your nice little script, nice tight script, beginning, middle, and end, tight end on these things. It's like, it's easy to just let these things unravel and just run around with a nice sexy camera and shoot some pretty scenes. It's like, unless you're Peter McKinnon, and you can just compile randomness together, your little walk through the woods for the day, but if you gotta piece this thing together, have a tight end on it. So, that's what I suggest. And then last step, probably say the most crucial step for last. Find good actors, you know, and get a crew built, you know, volunteers, you know, I was gonna say voluntold, but when I make my kids do something, the results aren't as good as if they're actually excited and on board with it. So give them a couple $100, I might be a little more excited. You know, hey, give me a couple $100 to hang out with us for 5 days. You know, they'd probably be a lot more excited than just, come on, help your poor dad out, you know. But anyway, get your crew together, and actors, probably the most important step are the actors. It's gotta be saved for last because you don't know what you need yet. You know, okay, we're gonna be in a cabin in the woods, it's gonna be a comedy, and it's a love story, a rom-com. So yeah, now you got to find people to fit the part, you know, because you build the world, then you find the occupants. You know, I don't like just for $50,000 budget. Okay, if you do an Avatar 2 and you own the giant Superdome size studio and you can live in there 24 hours a day and whatever, yeah, that's a different world. I'm talking about a $50,000 budget. Find the world that's doable and then build within it, you know. So you got your location for 5 days, you got this, you got that, start writing your script, find your actors, and do not rush that part, you know. Actually have them come in and rehearse on camera. The magic of on camera, it's the weirdest thing. That probably alone is what keeps me in this biz, you know, and the fact that I'm too lazy to look for another job. Now, I do love it. Once the camera's rolling, I would say 75% of the time, who I thought was good isn't that good. And who I thought wasn't that good is actually good. It's amazing. I mean, it happens all the time. You know, it's like, this person's a great talker. This person's a really great talker. This person's kind of quiet. Yeah, you wouldn't think they'd be good on camera, but guess what? On camera, alternate personalities float to the top. It's incredible, you know? And it's like, it's amazing once you get somebody on camera, you know, and if they're excited about it, if they're not, if they're being drug into it, if they're just, you know, it depends on a lot of factors, you know, but you have to do on camera rehearsals, you know, at least for a couple lines, maybe 5 minutes on camera, trying a few things, maybe, and then once you find your pairs, once you find your couple, pair them up and have them do the lines. Of course, this is production 101, I know, but it's so important. 85% of little short films and independent films that I've ever watched could have been 100 times better had they just tried a few more actors instead of just settling on the first person that was willing to do it for free. There's a lot of people willing to do it for free. With a $50,000 budget, they don't have to do it for free. For 5 days, give them $1,000 for some starving college kid. They're gonna poop their pants, you know? If this is some kid in drama up on stage eating ramen noodles, and you say, hey dude, can you hang out with us for 5 days? Can you clear your schedule for 5 days? I'll give you $1,000, you know. They're gonna jump on it. And you can find some really choice people, you know. Talking about a $50,000 budget here, people, okay? Sure, get a name brand actor, you're gonna drop $300,000 on one person. I realize this, okay? But talking about just local starving kids, you know, and so we're building a $50,000 budget. So yeah, shop around, rehearse. I mean, you know, rehearse, search for people. Once you find your person, lock on them, move on to the next person. Put them together, have them rehearse together, see if there's chemistry, see if they can possibly pull this off together. Let them get to know each other because it's awkward, you know. Hey, this is your on-screen husband. Shake his hand. Okay, now do your kissy scene together. It's like, you know, it's just awkward for humans to do that, you know, some people. But, yeah, so, and then shoot, you know, have fun, do it. And I'd say rehearse. I'm not a giant fan of 1,000 takes, you know. When we're doing some simple little bit of B-roll, I'm a fan of 1,000 takes. Like if we're dropping a piece of glass and it's got to bounce and land just right, hey, you got to do what you got to do to make that thing look just right. But if someone's acting and it sounded convincing and it looked real, move on. Get 2-3 takes and move on. I mean, there's a bunch of, not a bunch these days, you know, video is so cheap that you can do a lot of takes, but time ain't cheap. So you're eating up your time, you know. You can never underestimate the value of time, you know. Get your 2 or 3 great takes. Keep doing it until you get a great take, okay? After you reach 5 or 6, at that point, I don't think you're gonna get any better, okay? After you do 6 takes of maybe a 10-minute block scene, it ain't gonna get any better. You made a poor choice on actors, okay? It is what it is, move on. If you get into 20s and 30s, you're killing your budget. You are sacrificing quality for the rest of the movie, you know? So, I mean, yeah, Stanley Kubrick, whatever, he owns his little world around them, and he can stay there for 10 years if he wants, which, you know, the man did. So, yeah, if you want Jack Nicholson to do a scene 150 times, just to say, hey, I got Jack Nicholson to do a scene 150 times, you know, whatever. You know, more power to you. I guarantee take 5 was about 2% different than take 150, okay? And the viewing audience would have not seen any difference between take 5 and the final 150th performance, you know? It's just power tripping crap at that point. You're just being a fool. Now, if, you know, the axe doesn't land right, his face peeks in, it just doesn't look right, you got to do it a couple times to get that right. But correct it and move on. You know, you can't fixate on multiple takes. I'd say 5 is the limit for me. By 5, it's time to move on, okay? I mean, you got to be sensible about these things. You know, you can get hung up on stuff, and I always end up fixating on weird stuff, you know, being sets and props and things like that. Sometimes, you know, it's hard for me to focus, which is on the most important aspect, which is faces. If they had convincing expressions, if they made great eye contact, if they didn't look away, if they didn't glance at the script, if they didn't look like they were thinking about the script, you know, things like that. That is the most important thing. Not where they placed the glass. Was it out of frame? Was it sloppily half out of frame? You know, was some further prop down the road, you know, not in the right position. It's like, that doesn't matter. Save it, do it in cutaways, okay? It's like, you got to keep this thing moving. You got $50,000. So anyway, I'm at work. I got to get in there. We're doing a rehearsal. So you guys have fun, and let me know what you would do at 50 grand. So that'll be my little bait click on this one. I got 50 grand. What should I do with it? What would you do with it? Let me know. Bye. Bye again.